based on your performance in the one before it. And now you might be asking, how can I prepare for these exams? Sorry, next slide, please.
Yeah, so if you're planning to go to medical school and taking the MCAT, preparing effectively for this test is going to make a considerable difference to your result in your medical school application. However, there's also a lot of things to consider, so I'm going to be going over some resources that can help you prepare for the MCAT. So I'm starting on the left side. Some UCSD resources include HealthBeat. This is a great place for pre-health and pre-med majors. They offer a variety of great resources such as job opportunities, networking, research, internships, and then they can also answer any questions you might have about the application process of applying to medical schools. Kaplan is also a great resource, and they've partnered up with UCSD to offer pre-med and grad students their test prep courses. This includes their online boot camps, prep courses in a variety of subjects, practice test exams, and as well as one-on-one tutoring. But of course, the MCAT is not all about just getting a good test score and having high grades and a high GPA. So to be a well-rounded individual, you also need some other things that make you a good applicant. So the Career Center is a great place to find volunteer opportunities or at hospital or local clinics. They can help you find leadership positions, and they also offer advising where they'll help you with your personal essay and look at your overall application. And another important thing to consider as well as joining pre-med orgs and clubs. This is a great way to meet new friends and meet new people that relate to your interests and journey of being a pre-med student. So now on to online resources. The Princeton Review offers a variety of prep classes, and they have different packages at different prices that fit your need for MCAT prep. And as well, this is, just keep in mind, this is on the pricier side, so make sure you consider that when you're looking into deciding which prep courses to take. Altia's prep course is another great one for MCAT. They have one-on-one tutoring, live online classes, and live in-person classes. And they also have a guarantee where if you're allowed to retake the program for free if you do not score in the 90th percentile. There's also exam crackers. This is this format is lecture test review, and it's a process to help you retain more information. The course provides bi-weekly study groups, study sessions, and it also includes a study plan and books. Moving on to Magoosh MCAT Prep, they offer online and self-paced practice material, and they also include a study planner but no books. Blueprint offers free full-length and free half-length practice exams, and they offer a bunch of great prep material. There's also Aptar Prep, and this is one of the most budget-friendly courses with many resources such as flashcards and practice exams for you to keep up with your material, and this is as well self-paced and online. And there's also Gold Standard. They offer a bunch of free resources and flashcards to practice with, and they also claim to have the most practice questions out of all the MCAT prep courses, and this course also includes a study plan as well as books. And lastly, there's also Khan Academy, and they also, like similar to the other courses I mentioned, they also offer free flashcards, prep courses, and materials to study and use for the MCAT. But if you're not going to medical school and not taking the MCAT, there's also the grad student, and Annie's going to go over some ways to prepare.
Hi, so how can you prepare for the GRE? Similar to the MCAT, there are a lot of UC San Diego resources. So there's UCSD Extensions, which is free for students, but you have to apply for a student grant. So that's why there's that student grant program. There's also Grad Apply. So you want to check with your specific academic department to find out what they require. There's also the Career Center, which is here to help you out. It provides a basic checklist, and it's a really great starting point when you're trying to figure out how you're supposed to prepare for tests like these. And then there's also the academic enrichment programs, which prepare students for education beyond a bachelor's degree. So that again, you can participate in those programs to just kind of not only prepare for the actual exam, but also just build your resume. Some of the online resources are again similar to the MCAT. There's the Princeton Review, there's Kaplan GRE prep courses, there's Manhattan Prep Scholar, and then ETS GRE. And you can see the chart below. That is just like a breakdown of what each of these online courses offer. And then again, we're going to send out links to all of these great resources. So now, what are some scores that you want to aim for?
All right, so y'all might have heard almost every pre-med like ever talk about the MCAT, and that's because it's a pretty big deal. It's arguably one of the most important factors of your application that contributes to determining your acceptance to medical school. But I'm not trying to really scare anyone planning to take the exam. I know y'all will all do amazing. You made it this far, so give yourself the credit you deserve, you know. You're all hard workers, and the main thing to remember is that consistency is the key. So if you keep at it and you don't give up, then it's like 100% guaranteed that you'll get an amazing score. So after all, it's still viewed holistically in terms of your application as a whole. So it really doesn't hurt to do well on it because it can help you if you're behind in other aspects in terms of your shadowing or clinical experience, GPA, personal statements, so on, among many others. Now, doing well is ultimately objective, of course, but there's a general range at which you want to score. So as Ryan mentioned earlier, there are 4 sections in the test and they're all scored individually. Each section is scored from a low of 118 to a max of 132, and the average is around 125 about. The score you do get for each section is added up and it gives you the total MCAT score that everybody really talks about, and that's what you're going to be sending on your application. The maximum total score is a 528 and the average, the national average for the MCAT is around 500. So on the right, there's a chart that I attached and it shows the statistics for the average MCAT scores of students who are accepted into the top 10 medical schools in the United States. So it gives you kind of an idea of the ranges and like where you would possibly want to fall within when taking your exam. All right, so next up, our lovely co-president Samena is going to explain the scoring for the GRE.
Awesome. So for the GRE, it is scored on 3 general tests, 3 of those being verbal reasoning, quantitative reasoning, and analytical writing. So 2 of these, which are verbal reasoning and quantitative reasoning, are scored from a 130 to 170 scale with 1-point increments. Whereas the analytical writing score is reported from a 0 to 6 score scale, and you'll have half-point increments. And many of you will be asking, like, what is a good score when taking the GRE? And they score them individually. So the verbal reasoning is, like I said, out of 170. And in order to be in the 90th percentile, you would need to get around a 162. Quantitative reasoning has a 90th percentile of 167 to 168. And analytical writing would be 4.5 to 5. So this is what you basically want to aim for, but you have to keep in mind that depending on your major, it will shift the percentiles. So don't give up hope. There's always hope. Even if it's not 90th percentile, you can check with the school that you're interested in and you can check what their average usually is. So now we're going to move on to how you can register.
So now that we know a little bit more about the MCAT and what constitutes a good score, many of you may be wondering how to register or the process for application. So registration for 2021 has already started. In November 2020, dates for January through March came out. And the future dates will be coming out in February for April and June. And similarly for May, the July to September dates will be coming as well. And when you're registering for these exams for the MCAT and the GRE, it's important to register early, especially for the MCAT, so that you get the test location and the time that you're most comfortable with. In terms of the score validity, scores are valid for 2 to 3 years, and that depends on the school that you're applying to, and the link that we will be sending later on has all the different schools and how they take the MCAT scores and which scores they do take. In terms of the test administration, the full length exam will be administered, and this was an update that we got on towards the end of January. So it will be back to its traditional length. And there will be 2 slots, 7:30 in the morning and 3 p.m. for taking the exam. In terms of when you get your scores, you get those roughly 30 to 35 days after. And the retake policy is a little bit complex, but you can retake it, the MCAT, up to 3 times in 1 year, 4 times in 2 years, and 7 times in total lifetime. And after going through different websites, the ideal application date is to have your first test between January and April of the application year. So that allows you to take the test once to get comfortable with the different sections, and so that you can get a better idea of which sections that you would need improvement on, and a final test date of September of the application year. So if your application was for August, you would take it in the September of the application year, so that you can take it one more final time and try to get a score that you're comfortable with. And there's a link as well that goes over how this all ties in together with getting a really good MCAT score. So now that we know this, we'll be passing it on to Sweetsoul to go over the GRE and the application process for that.
Okay, so unlike the MCAT, GRE scores last up to 5 years. And a lot of people, especially those who have already taken it, they suggested that you can attend grad school. If you're planning on attending grad school nearly or immediately right after graduation, you can take it during your junior year. And if you want to have maybe take a gap year or have a professional experience first, you can take it during your senior year. But basically you can take it anytime as scores last up to 5 years again. And because of COVID, there are 2 options. One is that you can take it at home, and the other one is there's still a large testing availability. It's offered year-round per test centers, and there's a link here, and it will be provided later on at the end of this GBM. This is the link for the locations and the dates of when and where you can take the test. The registration date for 2021 opened since July of 2020. So you can check that one out as well. For application deadlines, mostly they're December and January, but I suggest that you find the earliest deadline among all of your schools that you're planning to apply to, or you can set November 15 as your deadline, as that falls within the deadline for the vast majority of schools. But still, I highly suggest to find the earliest deadline. And you want to take the GRE 3 to 4 months before the deadline, because you want to have to start studying 2 to 3 months before that. And as well, on top of the 3 to 4 months, you want to have the time for retakes. Scores are released 10 to 15 days after you take the test, and you have to wait 21 days for retakes. So definitely take it 3 to 4 months at least. And you can take it up to 5 times within a year. And don't worry about for the resources and how to study for this one, because our co-president will take it over.
Yeah, y'all, just a quick reminder, do not worry about the score specifically. I know we went throughout a lot of content. Keep in mind that the MCAT, it is one of the factors, right, in your application. The GRE is one of the factors, but isn't the only factor. You have a lot more to offer to your prospective universities other than just these scores. So please not beat yourself up with it. Going just a quick recap for GRE. So some of the online courses are Manhattan Prep. It's a self-paced prep course, and you have access to all the GRE practice tests. You do all the flashcards, study tips, discussion forums, and local events. Obviously, since everything's online, be local events online in which you can prepare more. Then there's also Princeton Review, which offers practice exams, adaptive drills, and adaptive drills as in, say you have a weakness in one topic, it'll constantly drill you on that until you're good on that, and it'll make you more well-rounded. It also has video lessons, and you have access to course materials 24/7. And Princeton Review is one of the most cheapest online plans that you could have. And you either improve your score or you get a full refund, which is also amazing. And then there's Magoosh. Magoosh, an average student scores 6 points higher in each section compared to other GRE takers. And you can improve your score by 5 points or receive a refund. And it includes 200 lessons, 1,000 questions, full-length tests, study schedules, and progress monitoring. And the best part on Magoosh is that it's a quarter of the price of its competitors compared to Manhattan and Princeton. An online resource that I think y'all should definitely capitalize on. It is free. It is a Khan Academy resource. It's not a GRE specific task, but it does help you in the quantitative reasoning section of your GRE. And then some amazing apps are ready for GRE. It provides you with an estimated GRE score, and it sort of gears the app experience to make it sort of game-like. So there's like leaderboards, there's like the question of the day and all that good stuff. And then GRE Prep by Magoosh. There are in-app purchases. It also has practice test questions, video lessons, study schedules, and all that good stuff. And then going on to the MCAT, Magoosh, very similar. So there's 108. No, sorry, previous slide. So it's $180 for 1 month, or it's $200 for 12 months. So honestly, 12 months more bang for your buck, and it is online, self-placed. They do have a study planner, and you guaranteed a 10-point increase on your score, or some money back. Then there's TiS. This is on a very pricey side, so this one's $2,500 to $10K. But with TiS, it is one-on-one tutoring, live online classes, and live in-person classes. And you're guaranteed to retake the program for free if you do not score within the 90th percentile. So you'll always be in 90th percentile or higher with this program, but of course it's also on the pricey side. And there's Kaplan, which is $1,800 to $7,000. That's also online or in person. They do include books, and they do guarantee a higher score, or you can take a free repeat if you're not happy. So they don't offer you a refund, but they do offer you a repeat of the course. And then once again, Khan Academy, which actually does dive into every aspect of the MCAT. And then some great apps would be the MCAT Prep, MCAT flashcards, which are something that you could, take while you're standing in line or something like that at MCAT Prep and practice test, and Ready for MCAT, very similar to Ready for GRE. It has practice tests on there, questions, and it's like a leaderboard experience. So that's just a recap of all the resources. Once again, I know it's super fast. We will send you all a Google Doc explaining all the resources and breaking it down. And feel free to talk to us individually or stay after for any questions as well, where we could really debrief into it. And then going on to the next slide, which is the giveaway sort of. So I know a lot of these things can be daunting. And I know that with the MCAT and GRE, and a lot of you planning to not take the gap year, this is the year where you want to take it. In terms of that, don't be stressed. If you need any help, you need any advice, first of all, we got you. All of us are very dedicated to y'all's success, and we really want to see y'all succeed. And the second thing is that there's so many resources on campus. There's the Career Center, there's a Try and Transfer Hub, and we're actually doing a giveaway with them where you have to make an appointment with the Try and Transfer Hub and the Career Center, and 3 people will be will be drawn in a raffle, and you can win things like a Hydro Flask, a $50 Try and Cash, et cetera, et cetera. So be on the lookout for that giveaway, which is coming soon. We'll post on our social medias. And now we're going to go ahead and go into our amazing committee. Well, actually, Calpers. That's right. So Calpers, we have also partnered up with Calpers. That is an organization on campus that ultimately advocates for students. And one of the things that they're advocating this year is the open textbook program. This provides all students with free textbooks. And the best part about it is that professors can actually edit the textbooks to match their content, so no textbook has to be a waste. And honestly, right now we're collecting testimonials and petitions so we can really make a change, and they're looking for transfers for a transfer voice to also come into this, so we can possibly offer free textbooks, because I know many students suffer from, hey, do I buy food or do I buy a textbook? So with this program, it would be amazing. We will send y'all the link, and you can also find it in our Instagram and Facebook link trees, where you can sign a petition, and it takes like maybe less than a second. And now we are going to be going on to our next slide, which is our amazing committees.
What's up, y'all? I just wanted to let you all know that we at GradMed Talks will be hosting a talk with a representative from Trinity Medical School on January 15th from 5 to 6:30 p.m. We're going to be comparing US and Caribbean medical schools, and we'll be talking about some opportunities. Also, just a heads up, next month, we'll be talking to a biochem biophysics PhD student here who is a UCSD transfer alumni. So watch out for that too.
Hey guys, so PreResearch Committee is finally up and running. That will be Sweetzel and Cindy and I. So our first committee meeting is going to be Tuesday on January 19th at 3 p.m. Come get to know us, come find out what the committee is all about, and if you want to join, what you will be doing for yourself and others.
Well, I just wanted to thank everyone for coming out. I know we did bombard you with so much information, but like as we mentioned multiple times, we will be we did record this, so it will be on our link tree, and we will also be sending y'all the Google Docs, so you have all the information that we went over. So please don't feel overwhelmed. We are here to help you. So if you feel like you need any more information, or if you just need any help applying or anything like that, we are here, and we are super invested in helping everyone here. So with that being said, please don't forget to stay in touch with us. We will have a future GBM, I believe, in February, and that will be super fun because we will be doing a speed dating thing with our professors. So professors from all kinds of majors, and I'm sure that y'all can make connections with them and possibly get research. So if any of that is of interest to you, then please stay in touch. And if you have any questions, we'll be here waiting. Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank y'all.
Good job, everyone.
Thanks, Jane.
You're welcome.
I saw the chat and I saw, ooh, after